Hello. Today I want to talk to you about your client list. Are you growing your client list? As a handmade business owner, if you are, a sewist, you're doing upcycling like I do, or if you do pottery, even if you sell vintage clothing, that applies to you. I've collected like 3 most objections that people have when they think of growing their email list, and I'm going to share with you why they are wrong and what you can do to use that to grow your business, to sell more, to get more in touch with your customers, okay? And it's easy and it's cheap, so it's worth it, all right? If you don't know me, I'm Vania, and please subscribe, please leave a comment if you have a question, and tell your friends about this, okay? So I've been selling my creations since forever, but in the US, in New York, since 2007. And a few years ago, I created Wardrobe School where I share all my processes, and now I'm helping you to grow your brand. Maybe you're a beginner, or maybe you just want to improve and do better, and I'm here to help you, all right? And by the way, if you are a total beginner and if you need like some sort of a guide, I wrote a PDF, like a guide, so with step by step, where you can read and follow that, so then you can grow your brand, all right? So email. Client list via email. Before, a client list would just be like a list with the phone. Remember, like if you go to, at least when I was a kid in my town back in Brazil, you'd go buy something and then they take your number and then they call you to let you know that they have new arrivals and things like that, right? And so last week, I was selling at a local market here, and then I ran into my friend Megan, who I met at other markets, and then we keep like talking online, checking. We're like, is this market good? Is this okay? So, and one thing she says, like, she follows me because I share ideas, because she's much younger than me, and I've been doing this for longer than her, and she's really serious about growing her brand right now. I see how she's working really hard, and she's doing markets every week. She sells at stores. And then I asked her, are you doing online? Because I know that online you can reach way more people than locally, right? Although local is great because you just make that cash quick in that day, but long term is better if you have a website or some sort of marketplace or something. Anyway, I asked her and she said, yes, I am doing a website. Then I asked, my next question was, are you doing email? And she's like, I'm not doing email. And I'm like, why not? Why you're not using that, right? And the first response was like, I don't open emails. And so that's number one that I hear from most creators when I ask if they're doing email marketing. And they go, I don't open emails. First off, you're not your customer, right? So then you have to keep in mind people are different. And there are many ways that you can have people opening your email. If you think about it, which emails you open? When you look at your email box, there are some that you open, right? It's probably the important ones if it's about your mortgage, about your school or bank, things like that. It's required that you know that information. Then you are gonna open that email. But then for fun, which ones you do open? In my case, I like to open emails that I'm interested in it, right? So if it's some brand that I really like, there are a few brands that I follow and I receive their emails and I love opening it. Not only because I'm gonna shop there, but also because I get inspired. So if you send emails to your people, to your list, that inspire them, give them something interesting, right? Not only selling to them all the time, because most of the times that's the main problem. People keep saying like, discount, this, that, and it's always like, now new release, new this. If you only send selling emails, you're gonna bore the person. They're not gonna open your emails. But if the majority of your emails are interesting, they are gonna open. And when I say interesting, it has to do with your people, with yourself, right? We do like a personal brand, so it's always about our processes, how we choose the materials, how, because when a person buys from another person, not only they're buying the products, but they're also buying the story that the person who made, is one package, right? So if you share more of that with them, they're gonna be interested. And eventually when you sell something via email, they're gonna open that email as well, okay? The other thing is, The second reason is people always tell me like, no one do email anymore. Email is dead. And the answer I have for you is, and I heard this from like those very professional email marketers, and they said, and I think this is amazing insight, how like, if you think about the email is an app on the phone, and you know how people are scrolling on the phone all the time when you're bored and you're in line or you're waiting for something or you're going to bed or you wake up in the bathroom, everywhere we're on the phone looking to release our boredom, right? And the email is another app there. So obviously everyone opens that. So they probably go to Instagram, now they go to Threads, they go to Twitter. And after they saw everything, then they probably check their email right on the phone. So it is also entertainment. It is also something that people are doing because they like or because they're bored or something. So if you're there often, you're gonna keep that connection with your client or your potential client, and eventually they're gonna purchase your creations, okay? The third thing I wanna say is people say, no, I don't do emails because I have this big following on social media. Or no, I already do Instagram and it's a lot. And I do understand how for us, we need the most possible time to be working in the studio to create stuff, and we don't wanna add more stuff to do on the computer and stuff like that, right? So if you're already doing Instagram or Facebook, whatever, social media, and you have followers, you might believe that that's enough and you don't need an email list. But the reality is that how many followers you have and how many followers are seeing your posts. It's like 10% or less sometimes, right? The more followers you have, the percentage goes lower. And so we're working there posting, and keep in mind, they just see for a day and then they forget, and there's so many other posts there. So basically what I'm trying to say is that you don't control the social media. No platforms is yours. It's all like you're just part of it, and there's somebody high up there that controls the algorithm, and eventually could disappear, could end. It's already going down, like not everyone is on social media. So if you have the email list, you can connect to these people anytime, and no one is going to take that away from you. They might not open now, but they might open in a month, your emails, right? If you keep active, if you email at least once a week, they're going to remember you, and you have that. And the more you grow that list, the better you do with your business, okay? I grew my list I actually regret that I don't have all my customers, because I've been selling in person, at my stores and all for a long time. And if I had collected all those emails, I would have a very big list. And unfortunately, I didn't, because I used to think this way. But then for my online business, Wardrobe School, I collect, and I have a lot of emails. And every time, if I need to do a survey, or if I want to sell something, if I launch a new course or something, I send to my list, and these people are there, and we connect to all of them. Okay, you might be on my list, right? And I try to keep up and try to do my best, and it's been working so far. So that's what I want to tell you today. Make sure you go and you do your emails. If you haven't started yet, make sure you go get like an email service provider. I use ConvertKit. I'll put a link here if you want to join. It's very easy. You can even, I think, sign up for free. And then you make a form there and put a link on your Instagram or all social medias you have. And then you start collecting those emails and send people emails. And eventually, when you open your shop or when you have new arrivals, you can let them know, not only on social media, but via email as well. All right? And if you need the guide on how to grow your upcycling brand or handmade brand, let me know. Send me a message on Instagram, and I will give it to you as a PDF. You can read. I'm sure it will help you. All right? Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and tell everyone. All right?